Hello friends, today we are going to learn a very sweet poem from our 12th standard textbook, that is 2.4, Have You Earned Your Tomorrow? This poem was written by poet Edgar Guest. Friends, today I like to share some information about the poet. Edgar Albert Guest was a British-born American poet who was popular in the first half of 20th century and became known as people's poet. His poems often had an inspirational and optimistic view of everyday life. He has simple style and optimistic tone of writing. He wrote nearly 11,000 poems about family and other simple topics. Edgar Guest began his career at the Detroit Free Press in 1895, where he first worked as a copy boy. He was soon promoted to police writer and later to change editor. In 1904, he began writing verse for the Free Press under the heading Chaff. Friends, now I like to tell you about the poem. Have You Earned Your Tomorrow is an inspirational poem. In this poem, the speaker is asking the readers whether they have done anything to improve the life of another human being or not. It is up to you whether you will have a better future or not. Therefore, one should consider one's actions and deeds carefully and plan accordingly for a better future. This poem presents a number of questions. He hopes that everyone does what they can to bring hope and courage to those who feel hopeless. Friends, now I like to tell you about stanza number 1. Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Now just look at some new words. First, toiling time means the time spent in hard physical work. Second, through means over. Third, to utter, here it's a verb, means speak. Now fourth, utter as an adjective means complete, absolute or total. Now just look at the explanation of first stanza. This poem consists of many questions of the reader. The poem is addressed to you, the reader, and refers to him, the astrologer, refers to him, the stranger, one of the many we cross in our life. In the beginning, the poet asks whether anyone is happier because of you while passing his or her way at the end of the working day. Will anyone remember with gratitude a kind word or action that you may have done for him or her? Friends, just look at the second stanza. Did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who came along, or a churlish sort of howdy and then vanish in the throng? Were you selfish, pure as simple as you rushed along the way, or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Now some new words. Cheerful. Now cheerful means gay, happy or merry. Second word, greeting means polite words or sign of welcome. Third, came along means arrived, accompanied someone. Fourth, churlish means rude or ill-mannered. Now just look at the remaining new words. Howdy, an informal friendly greeting. It means how are you? Next, vanish means disappear. Throng means a large crowd. Next word, mighty means gigantic, vast, strong or powerful. Last word is did, means doing action. Now just look at the explanation of second stanza. The poet asks if you had a cheerful greeting for a friend who may have came hesitantly maybe to seek help, or did you just pretend not to notice what he or she wanted something and just said a quick hello and brushed past him or her into the crowd? Did you act selfish and uncaring, or will someone be truly grateful to you help them out today? Friends, now just look at the next stanza, that is stanza number 3. Can you say tonight, in parting with the days that's slipping fast, that you helped a single brother, or the many that you passed? Is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? Does a man whose hopes were fading now with courage look ahead? Now look at some new words. Parting with means to give up or let go. Slipping fast, going or moving quickly, sliding here, getting over. Next word, rejoice means joy, thrill, or mirth. Fading, gradually growing faint, disappearing here means getting over. Now just look at the explanation of third stanza. The poet further asks at the end of the poem if you can honestly say you helped a single fellow human while you go about busily. We surely notice many in need, but just do not have the patience to do one help that is unasked for. We never help someone on our own. Is some stranger thrilled for a small help you extended? He or she may have been hopeless, but did you take out some time to give him or her hope again? Friends, now I like to tell you about stanza number 4. Did you waste the day or lose it? Was it well or sorely spent? Did you leave a trail of kindness or a scar of discontent? As you close your eyes in slumber, do you think that God would say, you have earned one more tomorrow by the work you did today? Now some new words. Sorely means extremely hard or painfully, mortally. Trail means a mark or a series of signs, objects left behind. Now just look at the explanation of fourth stanza. In the last stanza, the poet asks, if you wasted that day like so many days gone, not having done anything remarkable, was today well spent or a dead loss? Did you leave behind someone smiling or left someone feeling dejected because you ignored them? When you are about to sleep, do you think God may grant you one more day to live? Now, this is about the fourth stanza. Friends, now I like to share some figures of speech from our poem. Now, the first figure of speech, that is synecdoche, is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said. Now, the explanation is the part heart refers to a whole body, means whole person. Now, the second figure of speech is inversion. Example is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Now the explanation is the word order is changed. So the figure of speech inversion is found here. Now the next is paradox. Now example is were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way? Here selfish, pure and simple, the expression seems meaningless. Now the fourth figure of speech is oxymoron, and the example is were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way? Here selfish, pure opposite words are placed together, so you find the figure of speech oxymoron. Now just look at the next figure of speech, that is interrogation. Now the examples are does a man whose hopes were fading now with courage look ahead? Or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Now the next is did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who wore a churlish sort of howdy and then vanish in the throng? And the last example is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Here you find the figure of speech interrogation, because in each and every line you will get the question mark at last of the line. So here the figure of speech interrogation is mentioned here. Now Just look at few more examples. Does a man whose hopes were fading now with courage look ahead? Or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Next is anybody happier because you passed his way? And is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? These all examples are of interrogation. Now just look at the next figure of speech, that is alliteration. Now the first example is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? Here the sound of letter yes is repeated, so you find the figure of speech alliteration. Now the next example is, or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Here the sound of D is repeated, so you have the alliteration here. Now the next example is, were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way? Here the sound of letters S and W are repeated here, so there is alliteration. Now look at some more examples. This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Here the sound of T, letter T is repeated here, so alliteration is there. Now the next example is anybody happier because you passed his way? Here the sound of letter H is repeated here, so you have the alliteration figure of speech. Now the next is, does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? The sound of letter T is repeated here, so we have the figure of speech alliteration. Friends, thanks a lot. Now we will visit soon with our next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.